Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Today is the 26th. Christmas was yesterday. I ate a lot of food and I'm ready to be with you today. Gonna continue this podcast episode and talk to you about stuff we brought up earlier on the 23rd. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, today is the day after Christmas. I'm excited. I hope you're excited as well. And I'm going to bring you a treat. It's going to be after Christmas treat. Save some food for me, guys. Yeah, save me some food. My family's eating all the food now. So listen, we're going to talk to you today about what your buyers are expecting from you. Yes, I'm expecting to get some of that pie. Leave it. The buyers are expecting some different things going into 2023, and I got exactly what they're looking for. I got a Salesforce state of sales, and here's what they are looking for. Check it out. Hey, everyone. Welcome to another great episode of the Sales Evangelist podcast. I'm your host, Donald C. Kelly, the Sales Evangelist, and I'm so excited for another great episode. I'm so excited to be here with you today. And on this episode, we're going to continue our conversation. We're going to talk about the Salesforce state of sales. It's a day after Christmas, and I hope that you had a fantastic Christmas and that you have a fantastic holidays. You got everything that you want, and that you're prepping for the new year, and you're listening to this podcast, and you're playing with your new gadgets and all the fun stuff. Let me jive with you today and to be in your earbuds, in your ears with your earpods and earbuds or whatnot as we talk about these things. So what buyers are looking for in 2023. Now, if you want to get the full detailed report, go down into the show notes, click on the link, and it will take you to the Salesforce State of Sales report. Again, that's a Salesforce State of Sales report. Some of the things I spoke about in my last episode, as well as this one, is going to come directly from that, the stats and so forth. If you're not familiar with the Salesforce State of Sales, what they have done, they interviewed 7,700 sales reps from across the globe, different industries, and they got some insights. These are also insights that buyers are sharing as well. So you're going to get a chance to get an understanding of what you need to do and how you need to prepare so you can go into this next year and just do awesome. So here's one of the things right out the gate. 57% of buyers prefer to engage 57% of buyers prefer to engage with companies through digital channels. 50%, so almost 60% of buyers say that they prefer engaging with sellers or organization on digital channel. Let's get that right. Digital channels. So think about that. Where do we typically communicate with most of our prospects? We do emails and we do phone. Two of the oldest means, right? Now, understanding this, your email inbox has been blowing up like crazy. Go back to the stats that we got from LinkedIn, where they shared that email outreach since the pandemic has gone up by 50%, while replies have decreased by 30%. So buyers don't want to talk to you on the email anymore. They're getting oversaturated, overrun, because everybody's just doing that. Everybody's automating a message and sending it to them. You may think that you're unique and your message is super amazing, but the problem is they're buried underneath a layer of multiple layers. Let's say 10 layers of different emails. In my inbox this morning, I open up my email, not on Christmas Eve. This is obviously recorded before then. But I open up my inbox, my email, and I checked my messages. I scrolled down to the bottom. I was having a meeting. And by the time I came back, some of those top messages were buried by 10 other emails. Let's say about 7 to 10 emails. That's crazy. That's crazy within a 30-minute meeting. So think about it from your prospect standpoint. And some of them who are bigger executives at large organizations getting overrun. So this is why you can see, and then go back to the phone. We all love the phone, and I love making my phone calls. I love connecting with prospects as well. Phone is absolutely amazing. It's challenging though, because people are not necessarily going to pick it up as usual. They have caller ID, they have different means, and this is why I recommend you get direct dials as well. But think about this from your prospect standpoint. If those two means are being oversaturated, what other ways they can communicate with you? Digital channels. Think about that, man. LinkedIn is the next place where people might go. So if you want to get connected with some of these people, don't go out and spam them on LinkedIn. Look for a way you can start conversation. I'm going to repeat that for the people in the back. Start conversation. Start conversation. Start conversation. Some of you are going to make some kind of, some auto tune of that. Now, if I go wild with a TikTok, challenge with that, that would be great. So let me know. That'd be an awesome Christmas gift. But the point is, you need to start conversation, because people do not want to necessarily do email. They want to have conversations, and they want to have conversation and choose to communicate with different platforms. So here's one thing that I recommend. People have been using portals as well. Another interesting thing that another interesting that the data said is that buyers want you to show up where they are. Go back to this idea again of social media. Obviously, email, they still do emails, but it's they want to be able to communicate on digital channels. They obviously they want to try emerging channels as well. So I'm not telling you that everyone's going to be on Discord or on Reddit, but there are avenues where people are going to have dialogues. Think about the places where you go to have dialogue and communication. Again, LinkedIn is going to be probably the number one safest place that you can go. I would recommend considering, after the conversation has started, ask them what's the best way to communicate with them. That digital means of communication, that digital channel, maybe text message. Yep, straight up. I know some of you still sleeping on text messaging. You hear me advertise and talk about Scipio, but it's a great tool. And the greatest thing about this is that your team, you can collect all of your team's data, or everyone communication could be in a text message. It's still private enough, but you can also broadcast certain things as a seller, but also when someone leaves the organization, information can stay, and you can have that data like your CRM. So the prospect get a chance to communicate with you in a way that they would like to communicate, and you're giving your sellers an avenue. Now, I'm not saying everything needs to go through just text message or through Scipio. You can utilize other means, but the big component is that you're giving people, the prospects, the way that they want to communicate with you. So another amazing way after the deal has started, again, buyers want to communicate with you through digital channels, is to include something that is absolutely amazing. And there's a link down. You could check it out in the show notes. It's called Digital Sales Room. Now, Digital Sales Room, if you don't know what they are, again, you can read up more about them below. But the idea behind a Digital Sales Room is simple. It's a place where you can put all of your communications, so your prospects can go to. They can the individuals are part of a deal. So you have like 5 people who are working in this deal. Instead of you communicating all via email, put them all in a digital sales room. You can have the recordings from the demo there. You can have the milestones, or if you're using some kind of mutual action plan included in there. You can also have some of the initiatives, some of the things that they say that they need to focus on. Everyone could be on the same exact page, and it's an amazing communication platform. And I don't have one in particular that I prefer over the others. You can go and Google them. You could find them, and many different platforms are creating these because it's just so genius. Why just have everything just so just out there with just on in so much ambiguity? Like, get everyone on in one place in one platform, so they can see the plan, they can work the plan, and everyone can know exactly where we are, as opposed to coming back from vacation. Where's this deal at? Like, it's bonkers to think that 65% of the population are visual people. So take advantage of that. So that's one thing you need to be aware of. Now, go back to this notion that buyers have stated. Buyers indicate that they want you to come where they are. The other thing that buyers are pointing out is the same idea that's been around for ages, but right now it's even more so important. 87% of business buyers say that they want sellers to be trusted advisors. This is the number one thing that all of them say they want from you. From you, they want you to be a trusted advisor. So how can you be a trusted advisor? Because you're probably saying, well, Donald, I communicate, I send out blog posts, I shared podcast episode. Those are cool and all, but that's like the given. Anyone can take that and pass it along. But can you interpret that? And then besides interpreting, can you help me to make decisions for my business based on those insights? Can you help me to grow my organization? Can you help me to solve problems? I need you to solve problems for me. So now, how do I go about solving problems? If I show up to the party and I come with a bunch of trash like everybody else, we can help you to save money, and we can help you to make more money. Like, that is just like, I cannot tell you how stupid those messages are. I'm sorry if that came across wrong, but the point here is those messages are garbage, because everyone is saying that. Go back to what I just shared with you about the stats with the email inbox. Email outreach gone up by 50%. Reply rates decreased by 30% since the pandemic. The buyers also wanted to communicate with you in digital rooms, digital platforms, digital channels, because their inbox is just getting oversaturated with those dumb messages. However, if 87% of them, almost 90% of them tell you that they want you to be a trusted advisor to them, then you got to think about ways that you could be a trusted advisor, man. You got to come. That first message has to have insights that's going to help them to understand their business. And that's one of the things they talked about in the State of Sales report. They want you to come with some insights. They want you to come with information that they can't readily find. In our LinkedIn course that we have and in our sales training course that we offer, our LinkedIn course, we're running 6 cohorts next year. So if you want to jump into one of them every other month, you can check it out. Also, our sales foundation course, we run 6 cohorts as well. You can find the links in the show notes below. You can jump into one of those cohorts. The next one begin the end of January. But here's what we've seen though, is that we have a concept called the blind side challenge. And the blind side really comes down to this notion, like we need to show our buyers and our prospects, or share with them things that are not obvious, things that they don't necessarily know, things that are quite obvious that they know. Like, just imagine if someone is coming to attack you and you can see them coming towards you. I know someone is coming to attack me. What I can't see, and what could hurt me, is the person from behind me that's coming to attack me. That's my blind side. And that's where you come in to be able to protect me and say, hey, Donald, watch out. Someone is coming to try to hit you. Let me block that for you. Here's the way you can get around that. Go to the left or go to the right. So now when you come to the table, can you bring insights that's going to help the buyers? Can you bring insights to help them understand about some of this data that you're finding out right now from the State of Sales report? You can go down in the show notes again and get access to that, and it's going to help you. And your industry is going to be different, but you can find some of those things. This is also an important thing because some of you also are loving and falling in love with intent. And I brought up that in the last episode, and I'm going to come back and share with you some insights on how you can make sure you're preparing when it comes towards intent, and to make sure that you're giving the buyers what they want. If you don't understand what intent-based data is, you can go back and do the research and go down below and you can find some more insights on that. But think about intent-based data right now in this sense. Your buyers are people who are interested in you are doing searches online, and they're finding they're doing keyword searches or going to websites relative to what you offer. Right? It's not necessarily that they're looking into your business, but they're searching for that stuff. And there's tools out there you can do that. And they have dark funnels. So this is intent, and tools like Zoom Info. You have tools like 6 Sense. You have tools like Apollo. They give you some people who have buyer intent. All right. So understand that out the gate. Those people, even though you may reach out to them and you bring some insight to the table, you got to understand where they're coming from. They're doing more research on that particular topic before you reach out to them. And this is another trend we're seeing and coming into the new year. The buyers say is that they're doing research, they're preparing, and they're trying to get more information as much as possible before they even talk to you as a sales rep. So understanding that, if they're doing research, who do you think they're researching? When they search, let's say, for instance, sales training, and I'm looking for that key, I have it set up in Apollo for that keyword, for that intent. If people are searching for that, I want to be able to know who fall into our Goldilocks zone of the ideal customer. If that's the case, I got to understand that I am not the only person at this party. There's probably 10 other sales training organizations, including the one that they're looking at in the first place, or that they're doing Google searches on, that's at that party. They may be kind of warm. I need to treat them not like a cold outreach where I might take my time and I might not I might just say, hey, they're not even looking right now in the market. These people are actively looking, so they're like a warm lead. It's kind of like you got to follow up with those people in like that 5-minute window, and some of the intent and solution comes like a day late. But the thing is, you got to make sure you follow up with these people quick as possible because they're hot like a warm lead looking for stuff, not necessarily you. And you need to treat them like a cold lead, in which that you need to go out the gate banging with like a lot of, I feel, a lot of conversation on multiple channels. You got to hit them up on LinkedIn. You got to make sure you hit them up on, you got to do text message. You got to do emails. I would say do videos in those emails as well. And you got to do your phone. So you got to do out the gate. You can't just lollygag and go slow. You got to treat them like a warm, hot lead, as well as you got to make sure you go out the gate with a lot of different platforms because they don't know about you per se. They could have been searching for your company, but they're probably not necessarily searching. And if you have tools that's helping them to identify if they're searching for your company, if they've been on your website with those type of intent and you're cooking them and so forth, that's awesome. But know that they're also looking for other people. And if all of these other people are trying to reach out to them, this has come back to full circle. You got to make sure you come to that conversation with amazing insights. Come on, man. You see where I'm going at with this? 2023, the buyers want you to be trusted advisor. They're doing research and they don't want the obvious information. They want you to come to that conversation and to find them, like come know that I'm looking for this stuff. Find me when I'm looking, essentially, and bring stuff to me that I don't necessarily know already, or make sense to me of stuff that I'm researching. Blindside information that I don't know about that information. And you're probably saying, Donald, this is crazy. Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. Sales is getting harder. It's not for the faint of heart. Sales is not going to be for the people who are order takers. If you want to be order takers, you can't be on outbound. You can't be on this outbound reach. You got to go on the backside. You got to go on a different, you got to go do something else. And it's not a bad thing. It's just that it requires you to be able to bring more to the table. And this is what buyers want. From the State of Sales report, it says that they are doing research on their own before they connect with you. And this is, again, something we've known, but this is a strong information that they share. They're doing research before they communicate with you. So again, the key here is to follow up with them fast, and also to make sure you bring insight to the table and you're connecting with them on multiple platforms. The last thing I want to talk about is a KPI, that's going to help you when it comes towards understanding what buyers want from you. So understanding that buyers want you to be able to be trusted advisors, and also that they prefer to communicate on different platforms. The third thing I want to cover today is a new KPI that you need to track. Now, this comes from Salesforce. This comes from LinkedIn's Big Ideas for 2023. One of their leaders pointed this out, and I thought it was just fantastic. I have that link down in the show notes as well, and you can go back to my post and read that. Here's what they said: is that a new KPI will be customer relationships. New KPI in 2023 will be customer relationships. Think about that. Go back to what we talked about last episode. Go back to what we are talking about at the top of this episode. Things are not going to be pretty going into next year. Buyers are going to look for low-risk opportunities. Your organization is looking for low-risk opportunities. So what's one of those low-risk opportunities I pointed out the day before Christmas? Go back to listen to that episode. Yes, your current customers. You got to maintain relationships with those people, because those are low-hanging fruit. Those are low risk. Those are some great opportunities. Here's what you need to make sure you understand with that. The buyers, you're going to need to touch base with them more than you ever done before. They want that. The State of Sales report here from Salesforce indicate that buyers want to communicate. They want you to communicate more with them after the relationship. So even though you have customer success come in, you got to make sure you're communicating and aligned, because team selling is something they care about. They don't necessarily know that. They don't want to know that it was a handoff to a different person. They know that they spoke with Donald. They had communication with Donald. Now Barbara's in the mix, and Barbara's handling client success. They still want to go to me, because we've spent the past 6 months going through this process together as well. So you need to maintain that relationship in communication with your customer success team that's going to help out with that. I'm just straight up. It's getting more hairy there, but that's why you need to have that alignment. You need to have transparency and good communication. They're not seen behind it. And in the State of Sales report, it addressed that and talked about why this is so important, and how you need to make sure, it alludes to how you need to make sure you fix this in your organization. Have the right tools so people can see what's going on. If a client success person is communicating, that information needs to be shared with the seller or the AE that closed that deal, so they can all be on the same page as they have conversations. You don't want to step on each other's toes. The other thing too, from our LinkedIn course that we teach, we go into this idea, and this is a simple thing that you can do, is to go ahead and take all your customers. If you can link your Salesforce or your CRM, whatever you use, to your LinkedIn Sales Navigator, it'd be great. But you can have your customers on a list in Sales Navigator, and you can know when that person when one of those people change jobs. Put up an alert for that. So let's say I have I have 200 customers, 200 accounts that I manage, or individuals, and I have that on a list. I'm probably going to have at least 10% of those people every month that are switching jobs, right? Or even say 5 to 10% of them. That's 5 to 10 customers, people who like me, who spent money with our organization, who did business with me directly. They're going into a different organization. If they were part of that buying committee, if they were important in that committee, the selection of my solution, they're going into that new organization, and they could bring me in. Low risk opportunity, right? It's low risk for us, because we don't have to spend a lot of money into doing ads to be able to get these people, or sales reps doing a whole bunch of cold call or outreach. These are people who are already liking you, who love you. They move to a different organization, but they may not necessarily send you a note or a written letter telling you that. They are moving. LinkedIn recognizes that and it's indicated there, and they tell you. And now you can reach out to those individuals and get into that organization. Low risk for your clients, low risk for you, and also low risk for your client because they already know how your product works in a previous company. You're welcome. Easy strategy you could take advantage of. Again, if you want to do our LinkedIn course, you can sign up. We have six different cohorts for running in 2023. But that's going to be an important KPI that you need to make sure you're focusing on. One of the things the State of Sales talk about is customer retention and how many different individuals say that their sales organization now has some kind of customer retention KPI for them as a seller. So go back to this notion. How do you maintain these relationships? How do you ensure that you can easily sell in these challenging times? Back to what we talked about in my previous episode on the 23rd, is that you have some of these measures in place, that you're looking for these low risk opportunities, that you're maintaining relationship, you're staying in touch with folks, you're reaching out to them on LinkedIn, you have them on a list that you're communicating with, often. You're sending them stuff. I mean, go back to the old days, man. Like send them a birthday card, send them a thank you card. Like those things are not that difficult to do. And you have tools that can help you out to send them digitally as well. But I'm just telling you that relationship aspect. If people are, go back to my 50, if you listen to my last episode, I talked about this example. Say somebody has $100 in good times and they spend, willing to spend $2 on a can of soda. Now they have $50 in their pocket. Are they willing to spend $2 on a soda? Perhaps not. But is there something, if I'm a low risk opportunity, if there's a way I can point out that I'm a low risk to you as an organization, if we have the relationship built, if we have strong connection, and I trust you and I know you can solve my problems, am I willing to take the risk at least to invest some money in you? Maybe it won't be the full $2, perhaps $1.50. Yeah, you guys took care of us before. Donald's good people. We have a good relationship. This is why people are going to do that notion. People do business with those they know, like, and trust. Yeah, because especially in those challenging times, I would say that's important because I'm looking for low risk things and solutions that can really work. So you're welcome. Easy way. So those three things I want you to be aware of. Top one is that your buyers, they want you to communicate with them on multiple channels. Two, I want you to understand this notion that the buyers need you to be trusted advisor. 87% of them. That's the number one thing they want from you in 2023. And relationship is going to be a key performance indicator going into this 2023. There's a lot of great stuff in this report. If you want to find out the State of Sales report, find it down below in the comments. That's not comments, in the show notes, and you can check it out and take advantage of it. I would love to hear from you. Hit me up on LinkedIn or on you can find me on Instagram, Donald C. Kelly. You can also connect with me on TikTok, Donald C. Kelly. And I want you to drop me a message and let me know which one of these points are you going to take jumped out to you. Which one of these principles you're going to apply in 2023? I shared some great insights with you. Which one of these insights you're going to apply in 2023? Can't wait to hear from you. As always, I want you to build more pipe. I want you to convert more pipe. I want you to find more of those ideal customers. That's going to help you to build the pipe. I want you to have more meaningful conversation. That's going to help you to have stronger pipeline. I want you to close more of those pipelines. And we're going to show you means of how you can do that. But most importantly, I want you to raise your level of thinking. Take advantage of these ideas. Take advantage of our sponsors and go out and do big things. Thanks so much for watching.